Hey everyone! So I'm doing something today that I have planned to do for a while. I didn't think I was going to be doing it right now, and the way I'm going about it is pretty much ignoring a lot of important best practices, but I'm going to try it anyway. But I wanted to get that out there that what I'm going to do today probably isn't what you should do. It's just what I'm going to do. So let me set the scene for you. A couple days ago, I went to Gethsemane Garden Center to pick up some fall flowers for my raised beds, which you've seen me plant some of those already. And as we were leaving, I said to my husband, I'm just going to stop in the evergreen, or not the evergreen, in the tree and shrub section. And I just want to ask some questions of the very knowledgeable staff about potentially adding 2 evergreens to my garden next spring. I'm not going to buy anything. Just gonna go there to look and ask questions. And now that I'm explaining this, I feel like this is exactly how we ended up with our 2 cats. But anyway, I digress. So I went back there, and one thing I love about Gethsemane, and I'm sure it's true of most nurseries, but the staff there is so incredibly knowledgeable and so incredibly helpful, and it just really seems like they know their stock, they love what they do, so much so that they talked me into getting 2 evergreens at that point. So I walked around first and just kind of took a look at what they had to offer, and I was immediately drawn to these plants, which are blue hollies, because they had berries on them, or at least the female varieties have berries. And I love seeing berries in the wintertime, just seeing some sort of life outside. That's also the main reason I wanted to add evergreens to my garden, just to have some sort of winter interest out here. But when I read the tag, which is over here, I saw that they are only hardy to zone 5. So they're zone 5 through 7, which is down to negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if I was planting these in the ground, that would be perfect, because Chicago is zone 6A. We're a little pocket of 6A right next to Lake Michigan, but the majority of Illinois is actually 5B. However, when you are planting things in containers that you plan to leave out over winter, you want to go 2 zones colder. So I would ideally want something zone 4A, but to be on the safe side, I typically look for something that goes down to zone 3. So I looked at these, and then I kind of passed, and I went up to the front, and one of the gentlemen that was working at the front desk there in that section came up and kind of toured me around and showed me different plants. And then he showed me this one, and I did explain that I'm growing in containers, but I just fell in love because not only are they pretty, but they were only $20. $20 for these plants. And they're already, let me stand up, this one's a little bit taller, but I mean, it already comes to chest height on me. So it's like 3.5 feet tall already, which is great to get these in the garden as an already like good enough height, instead of starting with something that was maybe only a foot tall and waiting for it to grow. So the fact that these were only $20, I got them. I'm gonna go for it. If I kill them over winter, I will still feel sad, but I won't feel as sad if they cost more than $20, for example. Like if they were $100 each, I would not be trying this. So ideally, if you were doing this in the best practice way, you'd want to plant these in spring so that they have enough time to get established in their pot before winter comes, and you want to go to zone grows colder. Those are basically the best practices I'm ignoring, and I'm going to plant these up today. Another reason I didn't want to get it right now is because we are heading out of town soon, but I think I have enough time to make sure that the drip is working on them, that everything is going smoothly. Again, trying not to kill them over winter is my goal. I'm hoping I don't kill them in fall when we're just gone for a couple of weeks, so I'll keep my fingers crossed. I might have the cat sitters just like take a look at these and make sure they're doing okay, even if they are on drip. So that's going to be my plan. Now, what I had intended to do with these is to plant them up and then push them right up against the window, because I'm not usually out here on the deck, but I would like to be able to see evergreens in the windows when I'm inside. I just thought that would be really pretty in winter, maybe string some lights on them, but I don't think I'm going to do that, because where the pots are located now, which I'll show you in just a second, I think is going to be the most protected area for them, because they're kind of tucked next to the raised beds. So I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I give them a good amount of protection over the winter, just to give them a chance. So now let me go over the specifics of the plant that I'm growing. So this is the Castle Spire Blue Holly. It is from Proven Winners. And, oh, see, look at that photo on the back with the snow and the red berries. I think that's just so pretty. So let's read some information here. So this one is sun or part shade. It's going to be full sun up here. Features are it's evergreen, winter berries, and it's pyramidal. That was another thing too. He said that this plant, because I want to keep mine obviously narrower just to fit in the space on my container garden, he said these are a great option for plants that you can prune into whatever shape you like. Seasons of interest, the berries are in the winter and the fall, and it's obviously evergreen throughout the entire year. Hardiness zones 5 through 7, size 8 to 10 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide. I'm going to keep them much shorter than that, and maybe about 2 feet wide at the base at most. So I do need to make sure that I'm up on pruning, and that he recommended just doing in the spring. Soil and water adaptable to most well-draining soils. And then, yeah, it says pruning seldom needed unless you're trying to fit it into a tight space, and to do that in early spring. Not important to me, but deer resistance is medium. But like I've said before, if a deer gets up here somehow, they're welcome to take whatever they want because I will just be impressed. All right, well, that is the plant. Maybe I'll take you up close and show you because there are some berries that are in there already and are green. Oh, one thing I have to do. So one of the pots I'm putting it in is empty. The other one currently has a hydrangea in it. So I need to dig that up. I'm going to put that in a smaller pot because it's not large enough to be filling that whole pot yet. And that way I can overwinter it in my garage. So I'll give you a close-up of the plant, and then I will show you where the pots are, and then we will get these potted. I am so excited. I've just always envisioned evergreens kind of in the corners. Okay, so this is the garden border, and my idea was always for an evergreen over in that corner, sticking up, and an evergreen over in that corner, again, sticking up. So that is what I'm going to have happen today. Well, let me take you up close. Don't mind all of this that I've just shoved over, trying to make room for repotting. But if I come over here, so I actually did plant an evergreen that I got from Home Depot earlier this spring. I don't think it had good enough drainage. So I'm gonna mix in, now there is a drain hole, but I'm gonna mix in more perlite into the potting soil and add some compost. But nothing was really in here long enough to take a lot of the nutrients out of the soil. I am gonna see, I think I have biotone. I don't think I have the evergreen tone, but I need to check my closet to see what's in there. So that is gonna be one pot. I will wheel these out because they are on platforms with wheels. So that's one pot. And then, okay, can't go this way. This is the behind the scenes messiness in the garden. Coming over here, coming back here, by my really pretty little garden border. But then back here is the other pot with the Tough Stuff AHA hydrangea. So this one, I just put in here maybe in May. So I'm gonna dig that up. I'm hoping I don't do, I don't know, too much stress on it. I'm gonna dig that up. I'm gonna put it in a smaller pot for now. And then that way I do have the mobility to move it downstairs because this container is too heavy for me to transport downstairs to a garage. So I was just gonna either move it into the greenhouse up here or cross my fingers and hope for the best. But let's go ahead and start with the easier one where I don't have to repot anything. Oh, and let me also give you a close-up on the plant. So first of all, I think the leaves are just really pretty. They're shiny. They are a little pokey, but nothing too terrible. And then the berries, you can see all of these in there. I am so excited. I really, really hope these make it. I hope they make it through us being out of town. I hope they make it through the winter because I think just having these in the garden will be so nice. All right, we got the pot on wheels. You go see, got the perlite, biotone, and see if I have any of the evergreen tone. I'm actually in luck because, well, I have the perlite, but I also have holly tone. I don't know why I got this. Maybe it was for evergreens, but I swear I had a different kind of fertilizer that was just called evergreen something that I used up. So I'm excited that I have this. So this is a slow release fertilizer. Let me see what it says in here as far as the mixture. Potted plants for new plants. When preparing soil for new plants, mix 2 cups per cubic foot. So that's probably about a cubic foot. So I'll put in 2 cups when I mix that in. So now I need my gloves, and we're gonna get our first one planted. Please survive. I'm gonna do my best to make sure that, even though I'm not following best practices, that I give them the best shot that they can. Now, like I said, there is a drainage hole in here. I probably should have drilled more. I got these on Amazon, I believe, so they're plastic, so I can, when there's not, a plant in it, I can lift them, but with the soil and the added plant, it just gets heavy, so that's why I put them on wheels, which I also got from Amazon. I will remember to link those down below in case you are interested, but that is one of the best things I did this year, was just getting stuff on wheels so that I can easily move it around. Because especially if it's things that I'm going to overwinter, I do tend to move them around quite a bit to give them some extra protection. But I'll talk more about my plans for overwintering once we get these all in place. Now, adding perlite, I don't do a specific measurement. I just kind of do it till it looks right to me in terms of the amount of drainage I'm looking for. Oh, yeah, not bad. Oh, it is root bound though. You see all those roots. So let me break this up. I'm actually kind of impressed by how easy it was to take out of the pot with how root bound it is. 2 cups per cubic foot. And again, I'm just kind of estimating based on what I know a cup to look like. So it's about 1. It's about 2. I'm going to mix that right in the planting hole. Ah, perfect. Oh, or do I need a little deeper? You always want to leave a lip. No, there's about an inch lip there, so that should be good. But you always want to leave a lip at the top so that when you are watering, you can put enough water in for it to absorb instead of having to stand there squirting a little water at a time because there's no lip for the water to sit. All right, so now we're just going to fill you back in. I feel like I'm always amazed when you take the soil out to dig the hole, and then you're like, well, there's no way I'm going to need all that soil because I put a plant in the hole that I dug it out from. But then I pretty much use all the soil, if not more, from what I took out. All right, 1 tree down, 1 to go, but I do have to remove the hydrangea from the other pot first. So I'm going to move this back. We'll get the other one potted up, and then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, first course of action is to get the hydrangea out of here with as little disturbance as possible. So this is the one time when I use an actual gardening tool, not just my hands, but I want to, I'm not really feeling many roots in here, so hopefully the root ball is still small, but I'm just going to work my way around to loosen this up. I can take the name out. All right. Interesting, it definitely got deeper than it did wide. Now this soil is a little bit more compact. I don't know if that's because there was an actual plant growing in here beforehand, which don't let me forget to actually add soil to that pot and pot it up appropriately, but definitely need my tool more, especially down at the bottom where it's a bit more compact. All right, perlite in, and then mix it around. Couple handfuls of the polytone. All right, so we have this one potted up. So I'm going to move this back in place. We're going to pot the hydrangea up, just add a little bit more soil, and then I'll water everything in and I'll show you what it all looks like. All right, let's get you potted up with some soil. So you're actually pretty good height-wise. I'm just going to add some soil around the base a little bit. But this is a much easier size pot to transport downstairs. Or like I said, the other one I just wasn't going to be able to transport downstairs, so it was going to have to do its best to survive over winter. All right, where should I put you for now? Move you with the other hydrangeas that I have not potted up yet. This is the mess I've made. I'm not a clean gardener. I've never claimed to be. So I'm going to clean this up first and we'll show you around. All right, and in a split second, we are all cleaned up. So I put the hydrangea that I repotted over here with my other hydrangeas. We had some very hot weather, so I was kind of hiding them in the shade most of the time, but now temps are cooling down a bit, so they should be happy over there. I also need to start figuring out where to put my empty pots. So last year, when I only had the garden on the front, it was easy to hide all of the empty pots and other unsightly things in the back deck, but now both are a garden, so I have to figure out what I'm going to do with, I mean, I know I'm going to clean them out and store them over winter, but there's still soil in them, so I don't know if I'm just going to keep them here for a little bit, but anyway, that's for another video. But if we go back here, there's one of them. I love it, I love it, I love it. I'm so excited about this. I just think that's kind of exactly what is needed, and then obviously we'll have plants kind of up there next year. Still deciding if I'm going to pop some mums in these or not, but I love how that looks. And over this way also looks super pretty. It's just the perfect like end cap on this garden border. And there's all the sad looking leaves on my dahlias, but the flowers still look good. So I am in love with having these here. Let me talk a little bit about my overwintering plan. So I'd mentioned moving them potentially like up by the window just so I could see them over winter, but I mean I can still see them in the corner, but they'd be right in the window, maybe have some lights. But I think if I move them over there, the actual container where the root ball is won't be as protected. So I'm going to leave them here. Actually, let me switch you around. So I'm going to leave them in these corners because they're basically already protected on three sides. We have the brick wall on two, the bed on the third. I'll probably put a large pot filled with soil there, like maybe this one. Once I empty it out, I'll keep the soil in just for some insulation and put it up against there. I also will add some mulch on top, and then I do have burlap as well if I want to add even some more layers of insulation. But that's going to be my game plan in my attempt to overwinter it. I also know that my microclimate up here is a little bit warmer than at ground level. It just kind of stays warmer even in the winter. So hopefully that also helps me out as well. But I'm really hoping these last because, I mean, I'm so happy just staring at them now. I wish I had them here the whole season. I should have done this back in the spring, but we'll see how it goes. So like I said, am I following best practices? No. We'll see if it works or not. I'll obviously keep you updated throughout the season. I mean, I'll let you know if when we're gone something happens to them. They're not actually going to be on drip because I don't think they're going to need to run as often as the other bed. So I am just going to have our cat sitter water it. But that's going to be everything. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.